Alrighty, it's been about 377 years in the future, and we have some bigger empires than expected. As I predicted, I said the HRE is probably going to be a big empire, but we have a lot of other empires that are uh, kicking around, like the Almurav with 125. How much of the HRE? 261, like I thought, and then the Baltic Empire, which is 156, with almost all the way stretching out to the Middle East, which is crazy. But with that said, let's jump right into how many immortals we had. We started out with about over 2,000, and right now we're sitting about 275, which is still a decent amount. They've all, for the most part, are maimed in one way or another. France has had the Eternal King for 392 years, pretty much. He has ruled France with an iron grip, which kind of doesn't explain why he had it split for him. I feel like if you'd lived that long, you'd have had enough power, as you can see, to take over Aquitaine. But that's because there's also an immortal who owns Aquitaine. Imagine being incapable for, like, when did they become incapable? Early or late 1200s. But it doesn't say when. It just says when people have died. I joined to conquer this land. So they've probably been able to be incapable for a very, very long time. We'll do faith first. As usual, it's 1066, so one of the Christian faiths is going to be the top faith. Surprised to see the Seljuks fall apart. I felt like they were having a good run until one moment, and then I looked over again, and they were not having such a good moment. Looks like they had a ruler for a decent amount of time, and he died because he ate something poisonous. Their lands become more orthodox. Ismaili is still prevalent in Egypt. Yeah, is the Pope still immortal? No. I wonder how many popes there have been. 1066 Pope. This one, he lived to be 148 and then was murdered. Just because you're immortal doesn't mean you cannot be murdered. That's the valuable lesson we've learned today. Interesting to see if not cultures have changed a lot. For example, French, not a lot of change. Not really moved past their first three initial things. I don't know why. Maybe just because he doesn't have a lot of prestige, and was not able to do it, or Burgundian became a thing. Who knows? But it's strange when you don't see a lot of movement within a culture. Probably see something we don't want to see. France getting almost completely encircled by Brittany. Sweden taking over most of Denmark and parts of Norway. That's kind of like historically accurate, I feel like. As for the rest of the land, I'm not seeing that much movements. All that Castile united the continent and then made the Iberian conflict come to an end. And I would assume they would have held power, but it looks like for whatever reason they are not able to just go in here and offer vassalization to this guy. The Baltic Empire, though only existing in 2 places, is now massive. Do they own another empire? They must just own Sweden and the Baltic, which is just like, how did you get so powerful? Oh, that's right, you're an immortal. So you've lived forever. Have you gotten all your skills done? Yeah, at this point, you should have. Yeah. What does he even focus in on now? Just diplomacy? That's probably a smart move. Just keep your diplomacy up. Let's look at one of his vassals. So he's been in power. That's not a good example. 1438 is not the best. What about Sweden? How long has he held the title? He's held it since 1066. So he's held it for pretty much the whole time. Sweden has been run by him. Everybody loves you. You can extort the taxes out of them, high levies, but they'll still love you because you have long reign. And I think long reign is dependent on how long they've been in power. Oh no, here it is. Long reign doesn't matter. It's not determined by how long they've been alive. It's determined how long you've been in power. So you can absolutely extort the shit out of your vassals, which is, you love to see it. About the immortals, which I really like doing them just to see, like, pushing the AI, because essentially that's what we are as players. We are immortal, quote unquote, but every new character adds new challenges or benefits or something like that. But when the AI doesn't die, it's interesting to see how well they can traverse the lands. As you can see, in certain cases, some of these guys are like, they've been on the throne for hundreds of years and will probably maintain the throne for probably thousands of years out this incapable man, even though he's incapable and has had a regent. I wonder if the regents, like, be interested to see quickly if the regents are on their way to swinging power, but no, because they're selfless. So you just gotta hope that as an immortal you can get a selfless. That I think the AI is getting smarter at being able to maintain larger empires, but I think that's because they're just making so much cash, as you can see, and I think cash is what's keeping them more afloat, because then they can fund armies and then send gifts and then prevent things from spiraling out of control. Like, I wish there was it would show the most wealthy. Like, you could show, I guess military strength would show maybe the most wealthy, but maybe not. Yeah, I guess military strength does show high wealth, because it looks like the Byzantines are clocked in at 1500, I think that was, or 1100. But yeah, I think all in all, pretty fun time lapse as usual. Thank you so much for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, have a good rest of your day. Ciao.